Hello, Curious. Do you ever watch your favorite TV show or movie franchise and then the next season or installment you realize that your favorite character has been written out of the show and you're wondering, what? Why? Especially if the way it happened was odd, or even better, if it took place off-screen, just as it happened with Charlie Sheen and his character in 2.5 Men. But have you ever wondered what the reason was for this? Sometimes it is something that can't be helped, like the passing of an actor, but other times it might be due to things getting a bit heated behind the scenes or stars doing something mega controversial. So what has happened that has caused the producers to sack Gina Carano from the Disney Plus show Mandalorian? What other stars lost out on their jobs due to behavior problems? Stay with us until the very end to find out the reason for the disappearance of some stars. But before we continue, don't forget to hit the bell and the subscription button so you don't miss any of our future videos. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook to be up to date with all of the hottest celebrity gossip. The Mandalorian has definitely been one of Disney Plus's biggest hits, and everyone had automatically fallen in love with Baby Yoda. And yes, we do know that that's not the actual character's name. Recently, the news has come out that the actress Gina Carano, who plays Cara Dune on the show, has been fired by the producers after she shared a rather controversial post on social media. Last week, the hashtag #FireGinaCarano was trending after she had shared a post that implied that being a Republican today was like being Jewish during the Holocaust. As you can imagine, Curious, that did not sit well with the audiences, and despite the post being removed, many had called for Disney to take action. And that is exactly what happened. A spokesperson for Lucasfilm had confirmed in a statement that Gina Carano was not currently employed by Lucasfilm and that there was no plans for her to be in the future. They stated that her social media posts deintegrated people based on their cultural and religious identities, and that was abhorrent and unacceptable. And on top of that, as it was reported by The Hollywood Reporter, she has also been dropped as a client by UTA. But it's not the first time that she came under scrutiny for her political opinions. Last November, she had posted several controversial tweets, one of which mocked mask wearing among the COVID-19 pandemic, and the second which had falsely suggested that voter fraud had occurred during the 2020 presidential election. A source told THR that Lucasfilm had been looking for a reason to fire her since then, and that the most recent posts were the final straw. Not only did Carano lose this role, there had allegedly even been talks to give her character her own spin-off show, which the opportunity for now is lost. But what other stars had lost their jobs due to some controversial things they had done or issues that had been behind the scenes? One such star was Janet Hubert. However, there's more to this story than just a feud between co-stars. For the first 3 seasons of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, she played Will's Aunt Vivian. But then after the 3rd season, she had left due to creative differences, and when it comes to that phrase, it is a term often that could literally mean anything and nothing at the same time. Though most people had believed that she was fired due to the fact that she was allegedly fighting with Will Smith. And then later added to the fire, these rumors, was when in a 1993 interview with Atlanta radio station, he said, "I can say straight up that Janet Hubert wanted the show to be the Aunt Viv show of the Bel-Air show because I know she is going to dog me in the press." Though it turns out that it wasn't just bad blood between the two co-stars. In 1992, Hubert got pregnant, and although her real-life pregnancy was written into the show, it allegedly violated her contract with NBC, and that was the ultimate reason why she got fired. And if you want to know more about Smith's own personal life problems, then you can do so by watching in our previous video. While Aunt Viv was just recast, this next star's character just got written out of the show. Obviously, that is a tactic that has been used many times, but what was the reason for this happening to Shannen Doherty? Beverly Hills' 90210 was undeniably one of the most popular series in the 90s, and during its first 3 seasons of run, Brenda Walsh was a very popular character with the fans. So it made no sense to the fans when she was just written off. And actress Tori Spelling, who played Donna Martin and was the daughter of the show's producer, explained how she played part in all of it. Appearing on the show Celebrity Lie Detector, she said that it was her fault that Shannen was booted from the show due to various factors, though the primary one was that Doherty got into an altercation that came to the blows between her and Jenny Garth, who took the role of Kelly Taylor. And after multiple incidents, she spoke with her father Aaron that Shannen needed to be removed from the show, and thus Brenda Walsh was no more. Jenny herself spoke on the issue and said that the departure was a shock, as one day she came to work and Shannen just wasn't on the call sheet, and that there were no goodbyes or farewells. And she did add that the two buried the hatched a long time ago and that they were on quite friendly terms now. From a teen drama to a medical drama as we step into the world of Grey's Anatomy. There had been several characters that had left the series for various reasons, and to cover them all, we probably could do a separate video. But for now, let's focus on Isaiah Washington, who played Dr. Preston Burke. Rumors had surfaced all the way back in October of 2006 that he insulted his co-star T.R. Knight and using a homophobic slur, which resulted in the actor publicly coming out. Washington issued an apology and all seemed to be fine until he repeated the slur in an interview during the 2007 Golden Globes. And so ABC chose not to renew his contract and his character was written out of the show, though he did make a brief comeback in an episode of 2014. Though curious, be sure to stay with us until the very end as we have many more cases and some of which might surprise you. Let's stay at the Grace Sloan Memorial Hospital a while longer and discuss Katherine Heigl and why she ended up leaving. Well, sometimes the actors do something that they believe is right, and it totally might be, but it can have some negative effects. In 2007, Heigl had won an Emmy for her portrayal in Izzy Stevens on the show. It was even put up for consideration the following year, but in a controversial move, she then asked for her name to be withdrawn as she didn't think her character was given the material that season to warrant an Emmy nomination. While that might not seem like a noble thing to do, it kind of also is like a slap in the face of the show's writers and creators. And in a way, this was a move that her career would truly never recover from. However, she did sign on for another season until March of 2010 when reportedly Heigl did not show up for work, and the executive producer Shonda Rhimes reached an agreement to immediately release the actress from her contract. Sticking to the world of television, let's head over to the Lost series, and let's begin with Dominic Monaghan's exit from the show after its third season. There were two theories why that was, so we'll start with the first one, which included a relationship with a co-star. Yep, the old tale. So from 2004 to 2007, the actor who played Charlie Pace on the show was dating co-star Evangeline Lilly. Many fans had attributed his character to being written off to that and some tension after the split. Though years later, the Lord of the Rings actor made some unsavory tweets about another co-star, Matthew Fox, which made fans think that maybe there was some other troubles behind the scenes that they weren't aware of. Whatever the reason was for it, probably explained why Monaghan wasn't too upset by leaving the show. And sometimes just bad behavior, which leads to a problem with the law, leads to the loss of a job, as allegedly had been the case of Michelle Rodriguez and her character, Ana Lucia Cortez. Though, due to the fact that the two characters were written off, while the actresses who played them had some legal problems, both Michelle and Cynthia Watros, who played Libby, were pulled over and charged with a DUI, though they were driving separate cars. So, when did their characters leave the show? That's what fans assumed was the reason for it, So, though in an interview with ABC at the time, Rodriguez had revealed that she had actually asked to leave the show before that and that those two weren't really related. What do you think, Curious? Do you think that that was the case, or was she just trying to save face? Troubles with the law now brings us to none other than Robert Downey Jr. himself. Many people are aware that the Iron Man star had issues with high-percentage beverages and illicit substances, and this was what allegedly contributed to him being written out of the show Ally McBeal. It all happened after the actor was detained by police after they had suspected him of being under the influence of illegal substances. Following a test, which turned out to be positive, the actor was charged for being under the influence of a banned substance. While at first the producers seemed to want to continue working with him, given that Downey Jr.'s appearance was a good thing for their ratings, it seemed that in the end they had enough, and it was announced that they were wrapping up the last few episodes with him in it. Now, this next celeb's troubles are still ongoing amid a scandal that includes allegations of abuse and cannibalism. Yes, you guessed it, we're talking about Armie Hammer. When these accusations first came out to the light, they had already cost him the role of the upcoming movie starring Jennifer Lopez titled Shotgun Wedding, but it seems that the trouble just kept coming. Despite the Call Me By Your Name actor denying those claims, he was also booted from the forthcoming Paramount Plus series about making The Godfather. And to add to the cherry on top of this bizarre situation, according to Variety, he had not only been dropped by the WME agency, but his personal publicist has also resigned. Do you think that they were just overwhelmed by this situation? And if you want to know what exactly happened, then be sure to check out our previous video. One person who was a victim of their own actions was also Megan Fox. So back in 2009, she was fired from the Transformers franchise and was replaced by Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. And this was due to the fact that in an interview for British magazine Wonderland, she had compared the director Michael Bay to a German dictator and said that, and we quote here, a nightmare to work for. It was actually Steven Spielberg who was the executive producer who told Bay that he should fire Fox, which he did, and the actress had since opened up about it and said that it was the lowest point of her career, and that she should have just apologized, but also revealed that it was a valuable learning experience for her. And we cannot forget to mention Johnny Depp in this video. Most of you will be aware of the ongoing defamation lawsuits that involve Johnny Depp and his ex-wife Amber Heard, whom he allegedly had abused. One case had come to an end, and if you want to know more about that case, then be sure to check out our previous video. It was a loss to Depp, and not only in the terms of the court case, but also where his roles are concerned. The actor was signed for the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them franchise to play the role of Grindelwald. However, due to the case, Warner Brothers had decided to ask the actor to step down from the part, which he did after just 2 movies. The creators of the movies, J.K. Rowling, had also faced criticism from the fans following controversial tweets, which may have deemed them transphobic and resulted in fans either destroying or throwing away their copies of Harry Potter books. Others had simply decided to cover up the writer's name on it so it wasn't visible anymore, either leaving it blank or adding the name of one of the cast members such as Daniel Radcliffe. So curious, what do you think about Carano being fired? Do you think Lucasfilm did the right thing? Do you think that some of these were unjustified? Can any of you think of any other stars who got kicked from a job? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. See you guys next time!